Come on, gangs! Let's look for Raccoon City.
Ah, Raccoon City. Home. This fictitious but beautiful city was the birthplace of all the best and essential Resident Evil elements, but was never officially given a state before it was wiped off the map. It was initially described as a peaceful mountain community, a suburb set in the American Midwest. But where exactly? I'm on a mission to find the closest place, or pretty close, to this little slice of heaven. Because I know it's out there somewhere. Raccoon City is bordered by the also fictitious Ozark Mountains and Raccoon Forest, which are
situated in northwest Raccoon City,
in the city's outskirts. Now if you look at these mountains, they're not huge snow-covered peaks or anything. They're just heavily forested mid-sized mountains and hills. And looking at a map of the Midwest, you can see that there are no major mountain ranges there, but there are a couple of smaller mountain ranges, the most popular being the Ozark Mountains, which are situated in southwest Missouri. Now here's a picture of the Ozark Mountains. Pretty close to the Arclays, right? Now I did some research and found out that the word among fans is Raccoon City was actually based in Missouri and was modeled after Springfield, Missouri. And here's a picture of downtown Springfield, Missouri. Very reminiscent of downtown Raccoon City. Yeah, I can see the resemblance. But according to these maps, apparently the mountains don't border the outskirts of northwest Springfield. And honestly, most of the cities I researched in this area have similar looking buildings and architecture. During my research, I also found that some of the fans believe Raccoon City originated in Indiana. And the books say it's in Pennsylvania. Now Pennsylvania is very pretty and has a lot of Raccoon City vibe to it, but it's obviously not a Midwest state. I think the Pennsylvania thing probably came from like maybe an homage to George Romero and his movies, since that's where he's from and that's where his movies were filmed. Now as far as the size of Raccoon City, I firmly believe that Raccoon City was just a mid-sized suburb, not this huge New York City style metropolis that they made it out to be in the 2 and 3 remakes.
It's a big city.
If you look at this scene of the missile impact from the original Resident Evil 3, you can see that Raccoon City appears to be just a mid-sized industrialized suburb at the base of the mountains. And I've always wondered about these scenes where Leon and Claire are approaching Raccoon City and they're just coming into the outskirts. Now if you look at the surroundings, it looks like a desert. You can even see broken wood pallets and empty waste barrels on the side of the road. Even when they escape from the tunnel, and when Jill escapes from the city, it just looks like desert with rocky hills in the distance. So apparently there's a desert element somewhere around Raccoon City. But I will say this desert actually does look pretty. And if you remember in the Texaco Gas Station scene, Texaco was a play on the Texas-based gas station Texaco, as I mentioned in a previous video. Now this is a more retro-style Texaco, but the details are similar to this Texaco here in Raccoon City's outskirts. But if you look at this recent map of the US Texaco locations, there aren't any in the Midwest, but there would have to be. Otherwise that would mean that the outbreak spread beyond Raccoon City and into the southern states. Maybe it's possible when 90s Capcom was developing the location and story of Raccoon City, they thought Midwest was this area, but I have seen, however, older mid-size and big cities in East Texas that have these same types of layouts and similar architecture, similar alleys, these narrow one-lane roads in the downtown areas. There are some rolling hills and smaller mountains in those areas, but not like the Arclays. For now, while the real Raccoon City resides in my heart, my journey to find the closest thing out there continues. But if you have any other knowledge or theories about where Raccoon City would have been, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.